You're listening to the Intuitive Souls podcast. I am your host, Erica Russo, and this podcast is designed to educate, inspire, and enlighten. Let's wake up together. Hey guys, welcome to the Intuitive Souls podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Super excited that the universe led you here. If you are an OG, you know I love you. You know I say this every episode, but you know that it's true. You guys make this so easy for me. You guys make it so much fun. You guys make each conversation I have just so amazing, so insightful. It's just such a great experience, and I am so humbled and honored to be giving you this show, be giving you these tools, these conversations that might be helping you on your spiritual path. If this podcast is helping you, if you are learning, if you are taking something from it, I ask you to maybe take a minute or two and head on over to iTunes and write a 5-star review. Those reviews allow me to get this podcast to the ears that need to hear it. And when you do, just make sure you take a screenshot before submitting it and email it to me at hello@ericarusso.co, and I'm going to send you my soul alignment activation for free as a thank you, because I know how busy Milk Life is, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy day to help me out, help your sister out. You guys are awesome. And another exciting thing that's happening is I have re-released my Empowered Empath course. This course, I really wanted to do a different approach when it came to this course. You know, if you have purchased my Empowered Empath course on Udemy, it is no longer available on that platform because I wanted to create something different. And I wanted to give you even more tools, give you even more insights, give you like basically a one-on-one conversation with me of what it's like to be empathic, and giving you the tools and everything you need to turn your sensitivity into your superpower. You know, being sensitive in this chaotic world is not fucking easy. It's not easy. It's not easy being human in this world at this present moment. But this is an amazing freaking course, an amazing asset, because it's not only giving you such powerful exercises and tools that will allow you to just combat energetic overwhelm, combat the energy that's in the world today that we're dealing with on a constant basis, but give you insight into things that you may not have even thought about when it comes to being an empath. So it is only $37 until Friday. Like, what the fuck? I know it's insane, the price. Spirit told me to put it at that price, not me. So definitely be sure to check that out. Again, it's only on sale until Friday. You're also getting my subliminals, which are pretty freaking awesome. They are filled with empowering affirmations that basically, if you don't know what subliminals are, it's passive hypnosis. So it's going to allow you to rewire your subconscious mind to think more positively, to change the way you see your life in a passive way. You're not like sitting there doing like hardcore journaling or something like that. You're putting this in the background, or, you know, listening to it when you're working on your laptop, or, you know, that's what I use my subliminals for, is like, I'll just have them on in the background when I'm working. So at least I know that I'm killing two birds with one stone. But it's just such an exciting, I just love anything. I don't put out anything unless I am 100% passionate about what I'm putting out. And I am so passionate about this course, and you guys are just amazing. And that's why I'm offering it such a ridiculously low price. Also, 10% of the proceeds I will be donating to the Black Lives Matter movement. So that's another thing to consider. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about my day and how I am recording this podcast right now because this was not planned. This was definitely not planned. There is already scheduled podcasts for this week, and I woke up this morning doing my morning meditation, and I just got this crazy download, and I knew that I had to share it with you guys. So this is really talking about surrendering. Yeah, like I'm sure you're sitting there like cringing at the thought of surrender. You know, we have been programmed to believe that surrendering equals failure, and that is just not true. That's just a story. That's just a story that we have heard time and time again. Surrendering is a tool that we do not use enough. Okay? So let's be real. Everybody who is listening to this, especially for my intuitive souls that are trying to develop their connection to spirit and intuition, surrendering is probably the biggest obstacle that you're going to deal with. Okay? It's just a fact. Every single one of my clients, every single one of my one-on-one clients, that's like their biggest thing, is just the art of surrendering and having faith and letting go. And I would be a liar if I told you that I don't have problems with surrendering. You know, it wasn't until last year. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for a hot minute, and it wasn't until last year where I realized that my need to control and my need to have the perfect evidence when it comes to mediumship and my need to just, you know, have evidence was completely diminishing the magic of the readings. You know, we have to remember that intuition comes from a feminine energy. Intuition, fertility, surrendering, that's all feminine energy. And when we go and we jump into that masculine energy where we're analyzing and we're questioning and we're like, I got to do this, and this, we're defeating the purpose of intuition. Period. We are defeating the purpose of intuition. Intuition comes from a feminine-based energy, okay? And then when we go and we're like, oh, I don't know, this is what I'm getting. This might not be anything. You're jumping into a masculine energy. So you're defeating the purpose of your stream of consciousness through your intuition. So, you know, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, having unwavering faith can be absolutely terrifying. And we are essentially allowing, you know, we're essentially allowing any control we do hold to be put in the hands of the unknown and the unseen. And even in my own rational muggle mind, I'm freaking out right now just even thinking about surrendering, okay? If you are struggling with surrendering, whether it be with your own intuitive development, surrendering to something in your personal life or in your current manifestation process, you have to know that you're not alone. I think like right now, the collective of whoever's listening to this podcast is probably like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Because this is like a human problem. This isn't a you problem. This is a human problem. So this morning I received a download in my meditation, like I told you. And, you know, this download felt completely different than the information I received from my own personal guides. Okay? Like when I have a connection with my own personal guides, it just kind of feels like, I don't know, I'm talking to an old friend. And this energy that I tapped into, this energy, this stream of consciousness, it felt like it was coming from an authority figure. And I asked who they were, and they basically told me, like, yeah, no, we're not going to tell you until you complete this task and you share this with your platform, because this needs to be out there, especially with what we are dealing with now, with the world as it is in this present moment. So here I am doing what Spirit tells me to do. So in this channel message, I had to run to my nearest journal so I can write all of this down, because it just came in so fast and hard and quickly. And this is the message that I received. Now more than ever, people must surrender to what is. In a time where control equals power, one is extremely hesitant on the topic of surrendering. You have been conditioned by society to believe that surrendering is equivalent to failing, that it is a lack of ambition or a lack of strength and integrity. This is false. Surrendering is the process of receiving. Boom. I'm going to say that again. Surrendering is the process of receiving. Surrendering is a pivotal notion in the process of enlightenment. One must surrender in order to achieve greatness in life, whether it be in business, personal, or everyday circumstances. The need for control has become more important than the desire to hold faith. It takes commitment to master the art of surrendering, and the practice of surrendering must be done every day in one way or another. We will now share with you 3 tools that will allow the human collective to practice the art of surrendering as it is needed in the present reality of these changing times. So there you have it, kids. From the horse's mouth. I don't know who the horse is, but even looking at these words that came through me, I'm like, there is no way this came from my monkey mind. There's no way. There's no way that this came from me. This came from a higher source, and obviously I am sharing it with you because it is important. So let's work on surrendering. No joke, I can probably do a whole podcast of just talking about surrendering, but we're just going to keep it to this particular episode. So the first thing that came through was state out loud, I choose to surrender to the current moment. I allow Source to take control of the situation. Begin this exercise by starting small, whether it be a boring household task that brings a lot of anger and frustration your way, or if it's something occurring in your personal relationships. When you get to the boiling point of wanting to completely take control over the situation, put your right hand over your heart and the left hand in the air, just kind of like you're doing like a I solemnly swear sort of thing. Close your eyes and state the above statement out loud. So again, the statement is, have your pen and pencil handy or whatever you guys are using. I choose to surrender to the current moment. I allow Source to take control of the situation. Okay? You might need to say this a couple of times if necessary, just so you know. Be present in your body during this time and notice how your energy begins to shift. Keep on saying it. Say it once. Check in with yourself. Feel if you feel a shift within you. Keep on saying it until you feel that you're at the place where you should be. And just so you guys know, surrendering to and saying the statement in front of a pile of unfolded laundry is not going to magically fold and put away the laundry, because I tried it and it doesn't work. So just letting you know that. So at the start of each morning, this is the second one. At the start of each morning, begin your day by finding one thing that you can commit to surrendering to. And here are some examples. So an example is surrender to having an uneasy conversation that you have been avoiding. Just surrender to it. You know what I mean? You have to do it. You know that it has to be said. You know that you have to speak your truth. Open up that throat chakra. You know that it has to be said, even if there's resistance around it. You can also surrender to pleasure, I'm going to start talking more and more about sex, because this is something that I'm learning, or not even sex, but just pleasure, just absolute total pleasure. Surrender to pleasure. Surrender to doing something that makes you happy, that fills you up with joy, that allows you to, be in touch with your intuitive goddess that's within all of us, okay? Another thing that you can do is surrender to a compliment. Allow someone to give you a compliment, and instead of complimenting them back or saying something like, oh, stop, this is not, this is nothing, blah, 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 just receive the compliment. Just be open to the compliment without any hesitation. I was really bad at this for so many years. Like every time that, because I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom with a husband that worked a lot, and I didn't really take care of myself that well, and I didn't put on makeup or anything like that. So the rare occasion that I did put on makeup and, go to a mom's play date or whatever, everyone would be like, "Oh my God, like you look so pretty." And I would say something like sarcastically, like, "Oh, thanks, I showered today." Or, "Oh yeah, I look human today," or something along those lines. I never just said thank you. I never just allowed myself to receive the compliment that the universe was giving me. And it's not until like recently where it's like when someone gives me a compliment, I'm just like, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I am receiving that fully and wholeheartedly because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about myself. And so many people do this. So I think like everybody does this when it comes to being complimented on something. So another thing, when it comes to surrendering is to surrender to your children. Okay? If your kids are driving you off the wall, surrender and let them have what they want. Let them have what they want. You guys, we have been in quarantine with our children since what? March. It is now June. Okay? We're all losing our shit. We're all losing our shit. I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to kill them to have another Cheez-It. It's not going to kill them to eat goldfish. It's not going to kill them for them to have like 2 or 3 or 5 ice pops in a day. Okay? We're constantly battling them. We're constantly saying no, 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 no. Sometimes we just have to surrender because our mental health is important. Okay? And we have to put it as a priority. So those are a couple of different ways that you can surrender in your day. Now let's talk about the last tool that they gave me, and this is a visualization. So they stated to visualize for 5 minutes on the question, if I completely surrendered, what would my life look like? Now, try not to take this too literally, like surrendering to the mess that is our house is not going to send a magical cleaning crew to come clean it. You know what I mean? Like if you are someone who struggles with anxiety, this can be an extremely powerful tool for you because anxiety stems from a fear-based thought, all right? A worry of the unknown or a future event. So if you are feeling anxiety over something, take 10 minutes to free yourself of any distraction or anything and just ask yourself this question. Ask yourself, if I completely surrendered, what would my life look like? What would your business look like? What would your family look like? What would your life look like if you surrendered? If you let go of all the control that you try to hold on to? Sometimes we don't even realize it. Like sometimes we don't even realize how much control we're trying to control. How much we're trying to control. Because it's just a part of us. It's just a part of our conditioning to try and control everything. And I have to tell you this. When we think that we have to control everything, we're only getting 10% of what we can truly achieve. If that. Think about everything that you've tried to control in your life, okay? All the times where you could have surrendered, but you didn't. You controlled a certain situation or whatever the case may be. What happened? What would happen if we just surrendered? What if we just surrendered when we realized that a relationship was over? What would happen if we surrendered to a circumstance that we were fighting tooth and nail for? What would happen? What would happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? What would happen if you were looking for the perfect house and you thought you found it and you were fighting back and forth with the owner and you lost it? What would happen? Something better would come along. Failure is not something to punish you. Failure is something for you to realize that there's something better out there. There's something better manifesting. There's something better coming to you. There's no such thing as failure. Failure should not be called failure. Failure should be called a lesson, because that is what it's bringing you, whether you are aware of it or not. You know, what's the worst that's going to happen if you surrender? What's the worst thing? Ask yourself that. If you're in a circumstance right now where you are just stressed as fuck and you are freaking out over something, just stop and ask yourself, if I were to surrender to this, what is the worst possible thing that could happen? What's the worst possible thing? Because I guarantee you anything that comes up, okay, anything that comes up is something that you can go through. It is something that you can handle. It is something that you can take and learn something from. So let's try and surrender, guys. I'm going to try it with you because I'm really trying to master the art of surrender. I've gotten better. I've definitely gotten better, but I'm human. And this is something that we all struggle with. These are really powerful, powerful tools. So I hope that you guys incorporate these into your life. Because whether you, again, wherever you are in your life, whether you are trying to develop your gifts or whatever the case may be, we all have problems with surrendering. So take all of this, bring it into your life. And that's what I ask, of every episode, is take what you receive from the episode and bring it into your life. Okay? Whether that's a tip, whether that is an exercise, whatever it is, we can listen to podcasts and we can read all the books we want. It's when we take what we learn and bring it into our life that the magic and transformation actually happens. So you guys, I love you. You know I love you. I hope that you guys are staying safe. You guys are staying as positive as you can be. I am sending so much love and light to each and every one of you, and I will see you soon.